Hey guys, welcome back to wemetatacme. I'm so excited to be here with Danny Morel, the author of Awaken Your Highest Self. Hey, Danny.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thanks for being here. So we always start the pod with the same question, which is, what is your favorite romantic gesture for someone to do for you?
For someone to do for me, to cook for me. Yeah, because I grew up in a Latin household. So, the Latin woman is like always preoccupied, whether it's like your mom or your sister or your grandmother. If I ever showed up to a house too skinny, she'd touch me and say there's a problem and go to the kitchen and cook for me. So yeah, that's like really, that feels nice for me.
I love that. What's the ideal meal to be?
Yeah, I'm pretty simple. Like some sort of protein, some sort of clean white rice or potatoes and some broccoli.
It's so funny. I was just looking at some reel on TikTok where it was like talking about girl dinners and how whenever the woman's husband is gone, she can finally stop making a meal that has a protein, a grain, and a vegetable.
Well, it's funny. My wife and I just did a reel a week ago where I was gone to Colombia on an ayahuasca journey. And she says to me, while you were gone, I didn't eat one single piece of vegetable. And we're just like dying laughing.
That's so funny. Yeah. So you're married.
I am.
Tell us about your relationship and how you met your wife.
Yeah, I'm gonna deep that answer a little bit.
Okay.
My relationship with my wife started when I was born. And I think that's one thing that most of us don't really like connect the dots on, is that our relationships are really a byproduct from who we attract to how open we are to giving and receiving love. Like everything about our relationships is formed from our relationship with our mom and dad. And so for me, it was, coming to the awareness that my mom's mom passed away when she was 13 days old. So my mom never received feminine love. And my dad's dad disowned him from the day he was born. So I had a masculine and a feminine wound, which drove me to go out and think that like the answer to all my life's problems was in getting married someday. So I can remember being 18, 19 years old thinking like, I'm going to find the one, I'm going to find the one. I'm going to like, when is she coming? When is she coming? And if you think about that, like whether we realize it or not, that's coming from an unconscious need, which was driven by the wound of the little boy that didn't get love. So I got married. I was married for 13 years. I knew the day I was getting married that something felt off, that maybe I wasn't even in love, but I wanted to get married. And at the end of those 13 years, I actually had an affair. And I'm pretty like public about this because I was the guy that like had like the picture perfect life. I was Mr. Goody Two Shoes. I was the guy that like if the guys were going on the boys trip, the wives would only let them go if Danny was going, right? And even that, Lindsay, my whole life was put together as this perfect image so that you could like me, love me, and give me the approval that I didn't receive as a little boy. And anyways, I obviously ended up getting a divorce, and all of those things is what led me to find my wife, quite frankly.
I see.
Yeah.
And going back to your first marriage, were you young when you guys got married, or?
I was 27.
Okay, that's young.
It is young
for New York City.
Yeah, it is young. Back then it wasn't as young.
Right.
I think now people are waiting longer, which is smarter because I didn't know myself. And my wife at the time sure as heck didn't know herself either. I think you avoid a lot of heartaches if you go fully discover yourself and go all in on the journey of knowing who you are.
As someone who wanted to be liked and wanted approval from others, in your own words, when you cheated, what was the goal with that? Like just to get out of your relationship without having to have the conversation?
No, I don't know that there was a goal. It's not something that like you plan out. It was the best way that I can describe it. When I was in my relationship, I was very much in like wounded masculine energy. The best way I can describe that is just I wasn't truthful. I wasn't honest. And the thing that I wasn't truthful and honest about was the way that I felt. I never actually spoke up about how I felt because I was so busy trying to people please and make sure that she was happy. And the problem is that a woman never feels safe like that.
Right.
And so her, like, you know, like her anger and her confusion came out. And I was a match for her wound and she was a match for mine. And after 13 years of like not speaking your truth and essentially losing yourself, one day the universe has a crazy way of saying, okay, look, if you're not man enough to like deal with this, here we're gonna make you go through some pretty crazy pain to make you face your shadows that you've been avoiding. And that to me was the affair, basically. On one end, it was me like it was like me being like locked, like unlocked out of a cage. And then on the other end, it caused a lot of pain, obviously.
Yeah, of course. When is your birthday, by the way?
6/6/77.
Okay. That took me a second. June 6th.
Yeah, June 6th.
Got it.
I'm a Gemini.
Do you feel that you identify with Geminis?
Oh, I identify with like all of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when did you start to get into more spirituality?
Well, it was because of the affair.
Yeah.
You know, at the time I was highly religious. So even that was an energy that was outside of me, that like I felt the constant need to be a certain way based off of these rules and parameters that religion had set for me, you know? And, you know, after a while you just get like sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I can remember going to the pastor and the pastor kept like reading through the Bible and telling me, you know, you can't get a divorce because of this. Like he would like read a verse and then he read another verse. You can't get a divorce because of this. And all I kept asking innocently was like, look, pastor, like I get all that, but what if in my heart, I don't know if I can love her the way she deserves to be loved, you know? And it's as if there wasn't any space for that. Well, then he closes the book, he looks at me and he goes, I'll tell you what, you know, you're a successful business guy, you have a big house, you know, the community loves you. He says, if you make the decision to get a divorce, you're going to lose all of God's favor on your life. And he literally told me those words. And when he told me those words, it was as if like the veil split a little bit. And it's as if like I saw like the me that was afraid to be me and constantly needed you to tell me how to be. And then I saw like the potential me. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I obviously don't know what love is, but I know it's not that.
Yeah.
And I want to go on the journey of discovering what love is. And that's what led me on my spiritual journey.
And then just going back a second, did you have kids with your ex-wife?
Three boys. It was hard. Yeah, it was really hard. Yeah.
Were they at the age where they understood what was going on?
It's really interesting. My oldest just came back 2 weeks ago from Colombia with me, where I took him to do his first ayahuasca ceremony.
Oh wow.
And in that, a lot came out where he finally got to release a lot of the pain that all of that caused him. So the answer is obviously no. You know, I don't think any child is ready for that. And I know this might be a little confusing. I honestly think it was the best thing that happened for all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's confusing. I think that things happen for you, not to you, in order to like either do more self-discovery or just get to the next level of where you should be in life.
Yeah.
I wonder though, now looking back, or not looking back because like we don't want to change the past, but more if you had advice to someone who's getting married now and going to start a family, would you suggest that they do this, like not necessarily ayahuasca, but some sort of healing and inward?
100%.
Yeah.
Because what we don't realize is happening is that, you know, everything in our lives is as a result of the energy that lives within us. And that means that we are literally calling in our business life and in our relationship life, the vibrational match to what we feel we are worthy of, can handle, and can be okay with. And so in a lot of ways, I attracted at that time the perfect woman that wasn't capable of giving me love, that was, a little hard, a little tough, the same way my mom was. And so you literally end up marrying your mom or your dad, whoever meets your needs the least. It's like the soul calls in the perfect person to pay the perfect character to get you to eventually awaken spiritually. The problem is that nobody's here teaching us this. So we're in a constant state of resistance. We look back at the past and we're angry about it, or, we hold on to resentment. But what if the past was actually there, like you said, for you? That shifts everything. And so I would say to people, the greatest thing that you can do before you get married is go on the journey of discovering who you are, and go on discovery of healing your heart, because that will open you up not only to a deepening of love with your partner, but it'll open you up to your truth. And that's what most of us are actually afraid of, is being our rawest, most vulnerable selves with our partner.
Do you think that there's a way to awaken that part of you without anything? Like, let's say you're totally sober,
Yeah.
and you're afraid of any like mind or mood altering thing.
Yeah.
How would you suggest having an awakening of sorts?
I would say there's 3 levels to it, right? Well, there's 4 levels to it. The first level, which gets more and more difficult the more and more buildings that show up. Because remember, 100 years ago, it just wasn't like this. Life just wasn't like this. So the first level is just go connect with nature. And if you could just take your shoes off, like ground your feet on Mother Nature, put your hands on a tree, and like literally just envision any negative energy coming out the bottom of your feet, you would be surprised. Just 15 minutes of doing that, what that actually does to your nervous system and to yourself.
Yeah.
The second is meditation. And meditation has been shown to give people spiritual experiences. The problem that I'd like to say and caution people with meditation is that, I think these phones have hijacked our minds so badly that it's very difficult for us to stay quiet and silent. Like the mind is always looking for something now. So that leads us to level 3, which is breath work. And that's actually why I wrote the book, because we had people flying in from all over the world to come to our event, Awaken Your Highest Self, where they have like profound, I'm talking about, they connect to lost loved ones, they connect to ancestors, spirit guides, they download messages from the other side. Deep, deep things go down through breath work. And breath work is essentially, like, if you think about it, the act of breathing is not only what keeps you alive, but it's what can heal your life as well. And so I purposely included in the book my breath work, because the book, or any book for that matter, is only gonna, it's here. But what you're actually looking for is here. And that's when this starts to open up. And then the final level is plant medicine. So there's a lot that you can do prior to getting there. Yeah.
Have you heard of the Hoffman process?
Yeah.
What do you think of something like that? Something that kind of like makes you get in touch with your childhood trauma. And I'm not sure exactly how they do it. I've just heard things.
Yeah. I think anything that causes you to go back and like uncover the deepest unresolved feelings and emotions that literally, we don't realize this, create our personalities. Nothing but good can come out of that. And you know, it's also a journey. It's also something that understandably could be very scary for some people. Um, but to answer your question, yeah, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So going back to your wife who you were with today, when you met your ex-wife, you guys were finding each other through your wounds and things like that. Where were you? Like, what's the comparison to now your relationship today?
I don't, I don't think you can compare it.
But more so, like, do you did you guys have a similar? Because it sounded like you and your ex-wife had a similar, like, you know, with your parents and how all of that went back. Do you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Do you
Yeah.
have those similarities with your wife?
Yeah. Look, we always do.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that happens is the more that you heal, the more your vibration raises.
Mm-hmm.
The more your vibration raises, the more that impacts your partner, your children, everyone around you, because we're all energy.
Right.
And so where I didn't have access to any of these tools in my first marriage, I do now.
Right.
And we're both committed to it. I think
Mhm.
that's the key.
Mhm.
So something will come up for us and we talk about everything. I
Mhm.
mean, absolutely everything. Because we realize that love can only actually exist in truth.
Yeah.
And so it's very much a part of our journey.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I definitely agree with that. What is dating with 3 kids like? I know that we have a lot of listeners who either are dating men who have kids or have kids themselves.
yeah.
What was that like, and what do you have to consider that's different from when you're dating single?
Well, I don't think anybody's ever asked me that. Well, I remember when I was dating, I think the first thing you have to understand and go into is how valuable you see yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because the least valuable that you see yourself, the more that you're going to start to create stories about what's wrong with you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do that and you have kids, it's like another thing, like another like mark against you. And you know, when we believe these things unconsciously, that's impacting us. And that's impacting the partners that we're able to call in or not. So I can remember that being a big part of my journey. I can remember thinking like, who's gonna pick like I got 3 kids and they're not even like little. They're like big ass kids. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to go into that and I got to see that. I was like, wait a minute, my kids are great.
Right.
And anyone that comes into my life is gonna come into my life, and because I'm loving and because I have healed, they're gonna be loving, and as a result, they're just gonna see 3 wonderful new friends.
Mm-hmm.
And like I just started to like work on the parts of myself that saw myself as like not as good because of kids, because that's doing you a disservice and doing your children a disservice, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And so I hopefully that encourages some people. But then the second thing is I was really committed. And I actually told my ex-wife this. I said, the kids will not meet anyone
Mm-hmm.
until I know I'm going to marry that person.
Yeah.
Like,
I like that.
Like I just, because why?
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, when you're introducing your partners to your children and it doesn't work out and you keep introducing them to new people, you're causing, you know, obviously you don't realize this, but you're causing a lot of unnecessary confusion to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for me, I always used to think like my home and my kids, like I'm going to keep that as sacred as possible. And you have to meet my standards, and you've got to be at a certain level where I know you're safe to bring.
Yeah.
And if you're not, I just don't give a damn.
Right.
And I think that's the issue. I think too many people give a damn.
Yeah.
I think too many people are so concerned with not being alone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think so many people are so concerned with finding someone that all of their boundaries go out the window.
Right.
And that's what gets them in trouble.
That's such a good point. Did you have any deal breakers when you were dating with 3 kids that like, oh, I'm not going to date someone who wants more kids, or oh, you know, I'm not going to date some whatever, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Did I have any deal breakers? You know, for me, it was all about like, I think my first relationship, I was looking from here.
Mm-hmm.
I need to find a wife. I need to find a wife. And in my second relationship, I was looking from here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think even the word looking is the wrong word, because I don't know that I necessarily was like looking.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like open and available, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember just being like, quite honestly, I saw myself as the prize. And when you see yourself as the prize, I mean, there's just not a lot of, you know, and wherever you are out there, if you're a woman or a man, like the way that you're going to attract like an incredible partner is to become an incredible partner.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember working really hard on myself, you know, and I remember looking at the guy that was married before and like being honest with myself. I like, you were scared.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't speak your truth. You weren't honest. You never set any healthy boundaries. You were in a constant state of need. No. Like, where did all of that come from?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why were you like that? That's what I wanted to discover, you know? And so I got to a place where I just started to feel like, wow, there's just not a lot of men out there that are spiritually connected, successful in business, you know, are honest, have integrity, and like are connected to their heart and their feelings. What? So I was like, hey, I'm a catch.
Totally.
Right?
100%. And I actually just said this on a solo episode I was doing. It's like people are so afraid to say that they themselves are a catch, but that's actually how you put out the energy.
That's it.
To find someone.
That's
like,
absolutely it.
I remember in my last relationship before I met my husband, I was like, I deserve better than this.
Yeah.
Like I started to tell myself, which something that was true, which was that I had a lot in my favor. I had a lot going for me. And I feel like there's someone out there that has that too.
Absolutely.
And it's not the person I'm dating, you know? And so I think that how we speak to ourselves is so important.
And you know, one other thing. And then like any part of you that doesn't feel like a catch, fix it.
Yeah.
Address it.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is.
Right.
I got this like big wart on my head. Okay, go remove it.
Right.
Because like you're gonna let it stop.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I've been trying to lose the temp. Whatever it is, or whatever it is, or I don't make enough money, or what, like if you go all in on becoming the absolute like highest and best version of yourself, you're gonna walk around planet Earth, and I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna be way happier, you're gonna make more money, you're gonna be way healthier, and that energy is going to attract a way higher vibration human being.
Yeah.
End of.
Agreed. But, and I'm saying this as someone who hasn't done steps 1, 2, 3, 4. Like I haven't done the plant medicine healing. I haven't. So I'm just curious, is it okay to still have things that aren't like, that you just don't know if you'll ever fix about you? Do you know what I'm saying?
I think every human being
Right.
is on a perfect journey.
Yeah.
And we all get to choose. And there is no right or wrong. Like the greatest thing that you can do for your life is to finally get to a place where you within yourself understand like right or wrong doesn't exist. And there are no accidents and there are no mistakes. Like everything is just like this beautiful thing called life. And when you finally like look at it that way, you get to just let go of everything that's been like keeping you up at night and anxious and whatever. And that like that just leads you to more space within yourself to get more of God and more of God's blessings and more of what's available to you.
Yeah. As someone who's a new parent, and I have tons of listeners who are also new parents, what is something that you wish you could, like that you now know, that you wish you could have told yourself when your kids were really young, you know, when you were just starting out?
Oh, there's a lot of those.
Yeah. Tell us.
Well, I would think the first one is a hard one, but don't ever hate your kids.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say this is because like, I think for a while there culturally, we got like really comfortable with hitting our kids.
You mean like back in the day or
Yeah.
religiously?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
sorry, because of religion.
Because of
not
whatever it was.
religiously. Yeah.
And now there's this thing where it's like, oh, gentle parenting doesn't work. Look, I didn't say be a pushover. I didn't say don't have strict boundaries. I didn't say don't be a leader. I didn't say don't offer discipline. I just said don't ever lay a hand on your kids. Because unconsciously and energetically, what you do when you do that is your kids look up to you from the space of love. And when you use your body to harm them, you're literally like you're confusing their little hearts. So much so that energy, I'm only telling you this because this is the work that I do. Like, I work with adults. The most severe case of this was a guy that had an autoimmune disease where his esophagus would shut on him so bad that he had to run to the hospital so that they could stick an air tube, and he didn't know why this was happening. And I helped him heal from it. And what it came from was his dad used to beat the living daylights out of him. And he was on like 40 different pills. He had a stint in his chest because they would need to inject him with, God knows what to keep him like his esophagus open, or else he would have choked. And it all came from that little boy that experienced so much trauma from, think about it, from your father who's supposed to love you, like beating you.
That's so sad.
It is sad. But the perfect thing, we talk about this in the book. The perfect thing is like, yeah, I do feel like I need to share this, because a lot of us might have gone through this. And what I want to encourage you and talk to you about this is any adult that hits a child is adult that is dealing with unprocessed shame. On an energetic level, the soul cannot be in communion with shame, because shame is the lowest vibration that a human being can live at. One level lower, and that's, you're out. You want to be done with this thing called life, So what it does is it turns that shame into something that it can manage. Anger, it can do something with it, right? Where guilt says I did something wrong, shame says I am wrong. Like, I am the problem. Yeah. And so when someone with unprocessed shame turns that into anger, then that anger makes them feel powerful. And that's where you have these stories of these mothers and fathers that take out that anger on their children. I just want to let you all know the only way that a parent can do that is if they are unconsciously and energetically dealing with unresolved pain from whatever happened to them. It's just the doorway to you finding resolution with that, if that's what happened. Yeah.
Is there another thing other than that you like? You just think that young parents of young children should?
Number two.
Yeah.
You finally understand this. The more and more that you heal, quite frankly. And that's that, like, it's either life is happening to you or for you. And if life is happening to you, unconsciously, when you believe and feel that, you are living in victim consciousness. And I know that word victim is like a tough word. So let me just reframe that. You're living in the consciousness where life is happening from the outside in. If it's happening from the outside in, you can't control it. There's nothing you can do about it. And essentially what you believe is you're powerless. Yeah. When you're living in love and the vibration of love, you understand that life is happening for you. And if life is happening for you, you vibrate at creator consciousness. That means at some energetic level, everything is here to teach me, for me, even the pain sometimes. And the reason why I say that is because, like, I can look back on my mom's mom dying when she was 13 days old, and my mom not knowing how to show me love. And I can approach that situation in one of two ways. either A, I can constantly be comparing my mom to other moms, wishing my mom was different, or holding anger and resentment towards my mom. Or I could go, you know, if it wasn't for my grandmother's grandmother dying 13 days after my mom was born, and my mom never receiving love herself and not knowing how to give me love, I wouldn't be the man that I am today. I would have never written this book.
Right.
And I would have never gone on the journey of healing my heart. And that's what's available to us when we're finally able to like let go of that resistance. And I say that because as parents, when we get to our space within ourselves where we understand that, then we can understand also that our kids are the same.
Yeah.
Our kids are also on their life journey. So the more that we try to control them, the less that we allow them to be who they are.
Right.
And I think that ends up actually, when we try to control them, that comes from fear. Love allows and fear controls.
Right. It's almost like if you have a quote unquote difficult child, like, what's the lesson here? What do I need to, is this me as a kid? You know what I mean? Kind of thing.
Well, why did I call in this difficult child? What's here? What are they here to teach me? Yeah.
So true. What do you think is the biggest lie that people tell themselves about why they're still single?
I think the biggest lie that people tell themselves about why they're still single is that there's a problem out there. The problem is the men. The problem is the women. The problem is the dating scene. The problem is the war. The problem is the president. The problem is always out there. And I'm going to let you know the greatest secret of life is that if the problem's always out there, the problem is always going to be out there, and you will never find the love that you're looking for. I explained this in the book. I was looking to meet my second wife, and I was like really frustrated. And I was in a bit of a deep spiritual ceremony, and I was like crying, like I was crying out to God, like I want to find the one. I really want to find the one. And you know, when you're in these deep moments, your body starts shaking and moving because you're out of your like conscious mind. And all of a sudden my hand literally goes up like this and it starts shaking like this. And I'm laying there with my eyes closed. And like, so I'm pointing up, and then I'm like, God, just please show me, like, give me a vision or something, like, who's the one? I kid you not, Lindsay, my hand just goes like this. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm the one. Like, the greatest lie that people believe is that the one is out there. The one is in here. And when you finally understand that, you will realize that you can have a relationship with yourself. You can go on a beautiful adventure with yourself. And something magical happens when you're no longer searching and seeking. That's when it finds you. I've worked with like 5 or 6 about 5 women, 1 guy, and they all came with the same issue. You know, they were most of them, all of them, in some crazy relationship where there was either, you know, abuse or, you know, manipulation, whatever it was. And like, we helped them to realize they were the creator of it, not them. And a year and a half, 2 years later, they found love. Why? Because they connected the dots, and they connected with themselves in here.
Wow, I love that. You and your wife have a very strong marriage. What is something that helps that marriage stay strong? And I'm curious, do you think that your partner has to be as spiritually awakened or spiritually deep as you, or is it okay to be on different? Do you know what I'm saying?
You know, okay, so that just depends on what you want for your life. So this framework that I teach, and I go into it in the book, is PPV. Okay. Presence, personality, and values. Those are the like 3 things that, for the most part, like kind of like help us center around what we're looking for in a partner. So the first one is presence, like when you see that person, like, do you want to be attracted to them, not attracted to them? I mean, hopefully you want to be attracted to them. That'd be a good thing. And like, so like, what do you like? I think it's really good for you to like be honest about that. What do you like? What do you not like? Like, sometimes it's like, I remember like with my ex-wife, like she was really beautiful, but like for me personally, I didn't like her style. Like our styles were just different.
Right.
And that showed up in like house furniture, and it would cause so many unnecessary fights. And I was like, I'm not dealing with that shit again. Like I want someone that's like my same kind of style, right? So presence, right? And then the second is personality. Like, what do you want their personality to be? Like, some of us like to like stay and like be cozy and quiet on a couch. Some of us like to be the life of a party.
Right.
Some of us, are aggressive. Some of us are whatever, funny. And then the third one, which I think is a big one as well, is their values. Like what do they value? And so I can remember like for myself, like this spiritual work is something that I value very, very much. So I just point blank would not have been with anyone if they weren't on my same level or at least working towards it.
Right.
So the secret here is, you go from 0 to 10 for each one. So you found someone, you're dating and you like them. So you go presence, 0 to 10, what number would you give them? Sometimes, people say like a 9. Okay. And that's because we're very geared towards like the physical.
Yeah, of course.
But real love is like, it's deeper than that. Personality, what would you give them? Like a 7. Values, this is the one most people are like disconnect. What would you give them? I have one of my clients who told me they're a 3. And I said, a 3, an effing 3. Like, and like they're breaking up and they're getting back together and I go, well, what are you doing? Why are you with a 3? Right. And obviously that's connected to a father wound, by the way. But your partner is a 9, 9, 9 or above. Like if you can find someone, when you find someone, and once you declare like, I want a 9 or above in each of these, life is going to be really good. Yeah.
So interesting. I like that. Do you think that everyone has a father wound or a mother wound? Or do you think that there's someone out there who has like no wounds? You know what I mean? Like, does everyone have childhood trauma?
100% of all human beings on planet Earth have something. Even when they say, yeah, but my mom or dad were wonderful. Yeah. I asked 4 questions and they're crying. Say, and here's why. Because it's called life. It's called life, At some point in time, our little heart's expectation wasn't met. It could have been a look. It could have been, when your little brother was born and the love shifted and you didn't understand what was going on. And yeah, there's more severe examples of that. But yeah. And I would say that's perfect. We make it like a bad thing. Like the invitation is, what if you actually picked your parents before you showed up on planet Earth and you picked them with their perfect set of traumas and their perfect set of woundings for your soul to experience exactly what you needed to experience so that you could come to this planet and your soul could like learn exactly what it was here to learn.
I love it. That's so interesting. I'm like, oh, gotta get deep on mine.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. We'll do 2 more. I mean, I could talk to you all day. I'm learning so much, but I feel like we're going to go over. What do you think is the one question everyone should ask before getting into a relationship? Obviously, we want those 3 things that you just mentioned to be aligned in a perfect world. But what's something that you should ask someone?
I don't think the question is asking someone. I think the question is asking yourself. Because look, when we are man or woman connected to our feminine, to our intuition, our emotions, we can really tap into like how it feels to be around this person. And that's when you can move past like infatuation. That's when you can move past like all of like the puppy love and all of the earlier stages. And if you actually think about it, guys, like love and relationships isn't as excited as we as exciting as we make it. Like eventually you get to a stage where you're just doing life with another human being, right? And so, you want to get to a place where you're doing life with a human being that you feel comfortable and peaceful doing life with another human being with, and in order to do that, like, I think there's got to be trust, but you can't have trust with another person if you don't have trust within yourself. And so that's why I think you ask yourself and you trust yourself. And the more that you're up here, the harder that's going to be. And the more that you're in here, the easier that it's going to be. So I would say the question isn't out there. I think it's in here.
Yeah. My therapist always used to say when I was dating, just observe how you feel when you're with them.
That's it.
And that's
good
what
therapist.
She's great. This has been amazing. Can you leave us with a quote or piece of advice that our listeners, maybe it's something from the book that
everything you've ever wanted in life is on the other side of fear. And everything you've ever wanted in life is not out there. It's in here. You just got to go on the journey of finding it. And that's what the book is going to take you on, that
Love
journey.
It. Where can everyone find you and read the book?
Awakenbook.com is the book. And then Instagram, Danny Morel.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks, Danny.
Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome.
Yay.
Thank you.
That flowed really easily.
Yeah, you were